Hey team, welcome to another Building Better Baseball timeout. And in today's timeout, we're going to talk about the process of the MLB postseason or the MLB playoffs. We're going to talk about how it works, how teams are decided, how many teams, what the road to the World Series looks like, and everything like that. So if you have any questions about how the MLB postseason is structured, this is your video for today. And remember, I'm Coach Hart. Thank you for taking the time out with Building Better Baseball. Let's get into the MLB postseason. All right, so the first thing we're going to go over is how many teams are in the MLB postseason. There are a total of 12 teams at the start of playoffs, all right? And 6 teams are from each league. So we have the American League and the National League in the Major League Baseball, okay? And this includes 3 division winners from the East, Central, and West, and 3 wild card teams per league. So the National League, as you can see here, we have the division winners of the NL West, the NL Central, and the NL East, and we have 3 division winners from AL West, AL Central, and AL East. Those are 6 of the teams. And then we have 3 wild card teams from each league. And a wild card team is just the 3 best records among non-division winners. So sometimes you have 2 teams in a division where they have like 2 of the best records in the MLB, but only one can win the division, right? So the wild card team would be that second team who didn't win the division, but they have a great record, right? So those are what the wild card teams are. And as I say here, the wild card is just the 3 best records among non-division winners, okay? And we're going to talk about the seeding process. So how are the teams seeded? The number 1 seed is the best overall league record. So the National League record, the best record in the league, and the American League record, the best record in the league. The number 2 seed is the second best record among the division winners. So this doesn't include wild cards. So let's say that the AL Central has a division winner, but the AL West has 2 teams that have a better record than that AL Central division winner. That doesn't matter, but the division winners take precedence over records, okay? So the second best record among division winners. Third seed is the third best record among division winners. The 4th seed is the best record among the wild card teams. So the teams that did not win the division, whoever has that best record. 5th seed is the second best record among wild card teams. And the 6th seed is the third best record among wild card teams. So this is how the teams are seeded in each of the leagues, National League and American League. Now, who plays each other? How do you know who plays each other, right? So the MLB postseason is a bracket-style playoff using multiple game series, right? And the number 1 and 2 seed in each of the leagues will get a bye and go straight into the division series. And we'll talk about what the division series is a little later, right? So as you can see here, the number 2 seed, they have a bye the first round. The number 1 seed, they have a bye the first round. So the first round, the wild card round, only the 6 plays the 3 and the 5 plays the 4. All right, and 5 plays 4 over here, as you can see, and then 6 plays 3, okay? So one side is the National League, one side is the American League. And the number 3 seed will play the number 6 seed in a wild card series, all right? The number 4 seed will play the number 5 seed in a wild card series. So the first series is a wild card series, and then we'll move on from there. Now, the road to the World Series, what does that mean, okay? How do teams get from the beginning of playoffs to the World Series, all right? Now, the playoffs begin with the wild card series, all right? It's a 3v6 and a 4v5. So the games that are circled here, those are the first round of playoffs. That is the wild card series of playoffs, okay? And the wild card series winner will advance to the league division series. So it goes from wild card series, and if you win that, you go to the division series. And the division series is where you will play the number 2 seed and the number 1 seed, okay? All right. So the division series winners will play in the league championship series. So the National League Championship and the American League Championship. All right. So that is where this part of the bracket is. So the winner between the number 2 and the number 6-3 will advance to the league championship series. Okay. On both sides. All right. And the last one, if they win the league championship series, if they are the league champions, those two winners will play in the World Series. So you go from wild card to division to league championship to World Series. That is how teams get to the World Series. Now, the wild card series. A wild card series is a best of 3 series over 3 days. All right, it's 3 days in a row. All right, and the first team to win 2 games wins the series. So if they tie 1-1, if each team wins 1 game, then that third game will be the tiebreaker, right? So it's a 3-game series over 3 days, all right? And all games are hosted by the higher seeded team. So whichever team is the higher seed, they have the home field advantage, and all 3 wildcard games are played in their home stadium, okay? And losing teams are eliminated, and the winning teams advance to the division series, okay? Now, the division series. The division series is a best of 5 series. So the first team to win 3 games wins that series, okay? The higher seed receives home field advantage, and I'll explain what that means in a second, all right? The series is structured in a 2-2-1 format, all right? And that's how many games are played in each stadium, okay? For example, you have Team A and Team B. Let's say that Team A has home field advantage, all right? So what it would look like is game 1 would be in Team A's home field, right? Game 2 would be in Team A's home field. Remember, Team A is the higher seed, right? They have the home field advantage. And then after that, they would go to Team B's home field. So Team B would have home field advantage. And then if there is a 4th game, they would play again in Team B's home stadium. And if there is, let's say the series is tied 2-2, and they need to play the 5th game, that game would be played in the home field or the higher seeded field's home field, right? So that is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about a 2-2-1 format where home field for 2 games, away field for 2 games, and then if that deciding game needs to happen, that 5th game, that happens in the home field, okay? The losing team is eliminated, and the winning team advances to the league championship series. Now going to the league championship series, okay? The LCS, this is the ALCS and the NLCS, is a best of 7 series. The first team to win 4 games wins the series, okay? The higher seed team receives home field advantage, just like we just did in the division series, right? This series is structured in a 2-3-2 format. So going back to what we talked about with the division series, a 2-2-1, this is now a 2-3-2 format. So for example, Team A and Team B. Team A is the higher seed. The first 2 games would be hosted by the higher seed, so in Team A's home field, and then the next 2 games would be played in Team B's home field. And if there is not a 4-game sweep and there needs to be extra games, that game 5, 6, and 7, it would go Team B for the game 5, and then you would go back to Team A's home field for a game 6 and for a game 7. Okay, so it's a 2-3-2 format where you go home, home, away, 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 and then home, home again. All right, the losing team is eliminated and the winning team advances to the World Series. All right, now the World Series is a best of 7 series, and the first team to win 4 games wins the series, right? Home field advantage goes to the best regular season record. All right, so the best regular season record, whichever between the 2 teams, it doesn't matter the higher seed. Now the home field advantage goes to the best regular season record, whoever had the best record among those 2 teams. And this series is again structured in a 2-3-2 format. All right, for example, Team A and Team B. Team A is the higher seed. It would be again 2 games home, 3 games away, and then 2 games home. All right, remember you only have to win 4 games. So if there's an extra game 5, 6, and 7, it would be away, home, home. All right. And the winning team is the World Series champions. All right. So that is the breakdown of how the MLB postseason works. And like I said, it's just going from wild card series to division to league championship to World Series. And there's different lengths of the series. So the wild card is best of 3, division is best of 5, league championship and World Series are best of 7. And there's different formats like the 2-2-1 and the 2-3-2. That just means who's home and who's away. All right, so hopefully this gave you the information that you were looking for. I know that we're right in the middle of the MLB playoffs, and this is in 2024. So hopefully, if you were looking to see how it works and how teams are chosen and everything, hopefully this gave you everything you needed. All right. So thank you for taking the time out with Building Better Baseball, and don't forget to look in the description to grab your free guide. I have a whole bunch of them down there. I have a free practice plan. I have a baseball equipment sizing guide. There's a whole bunch of them down there in the description. Feel free to grab whatever you would like. So remember, I'm Coach Hart. This is Building Better Baseball. Thank you for taking the time out with me, and I will see you in the next video real soon.